Hello everyone, this is Saili Salkar from Sanjeevani Junior College, Department of Bifocal Electronics. So today here we are going to start with another type of transducer named as LVDT. So the full form of LVDT is Linear Variable Differential Transformer. So this is another simple type of transducer which helps us to convert one form of energy into another. So this LVDT is nothing but the type of passive transducer. So passive transducer requires external supply for conversion of energies. So basically LVDT is linear variable differential transformer and its main function is to convert rectangular movement to an equivalent electrical signal. So here the transducer basically is helpful for converting rectangular movement into electrical signal. So here rectangular movement means the displacement or the force is converted into an electrical signal. So LVDT is used to convert the displacement into an electrical signal. So one form of energy, that is displacement, is converted into another form, that is electrical one. So LVDT works on the principle of transformer. So in LVDT, as the name indicates, differential transformer, there are transformer windings present, that is primary winding and secondary winding, and based on the working of transformer principle the LVDT works. That is basically the working principle of LVDT is dependent upon the mutual inductance. So here is a diagrammatical view of LVDT. So this is how the LVDT looks like. So LVDT is nothing but a circular tube type structure, or it is a circular tube like transducer. So what is actually present in that tube, that we will learn now. So at the center of the LVDT tube there is a core placed. So this core is nothing but it is the made up of material, that is nickel iron. So core is made up of material nickel iron, and it is a high permeable material. Permeable means waterproof. So this core is basically made up of high density glass filled with nickel iron core material. So what is done, a high density glass is taken, and inside that glass the material such as nickel iron is filled, and at the both ends of this core there is a hole. So on this core there are windings placed on this core, that is this are nothing but the windings placed upon the core. So same as in the transformer, we have primary winding and secondary winding, and inside we have a core. Same structure is utilized over here, that is we have a centrally placed core and then the primary and secondary winding. So here you can see in the diagram this center part is nothing but a primary winding, and these two either sides are nothing but the secondary windings. So the LVDT consists of a single primary winding and two secondary windings. So at the center we have a primary winding, and on either side we have two secondary windings. So on this secondary winding there is an encapsulation of epoxy material. So this core and these windings are placed in an encapsulation made up of epoxy, and this entire assembly is then at the end of this tube there is a stainless steel caps. So this entire assembly is fitted in the epoxy encapsulation, and at the end we have the stainless steel cap. So this is how the LVDT is constructed, that is majorly it has four parts. The core part, which is made up of high density glass, and inside core there is a nickel iron material. On the core there is a single primary winding and two secondary windings. On the windings we have the epoxy encapsulation, and the stainless steel caps are fitted at the both ends of the tube. So this is how the LVDT structure is. Now we will see how the LVDT works. So this diagram indicates the working principle of LVDT. So basically the LVDT has a centrally placed core. This is nothing but the core of LVDT. Then on that core we have two types of winding. The center winding called as a primary coil or primary winding, and two secondary windings on either side of primary. So first secondary winding is named as coil 1, and next secondary winding is placed as coil 2. So if we see clearly this diagram, we have a centrally placed primary winding. On left hand side we have coil 1, that is secondary coil, and on right hand side we have coil 2, that is the again secondary one. So we have two secondary windings and one primary winding. This is nothing but the insulation or the end caps of the LVDT tube. So how we have to connect now this LVDT tube? So to connect this LVDT tube, same as that of transformer, we have to give the AC signal to the primary coil of the LVDT. So here this LVDT has the two connections taken out, which is nothing but a AC signal given to it, that is AC signal is given to primary, and here we can supply a signal of 60 Hz or 400 Hz. So this is a range of signal which you can give to the primary winding of LVDT. Now as the primary gets the AC excitation, the primary will induce its voltage into the secondary coil, same as that of the transformer. So these are the secondary coils connected on either side. So how the secondary coil is connected? So what we have to do, now we have to make one connection common between coil 1 and coil 2. So this is a common connection made between coil 1 and coil 2. One point is taken from coil 1, one point is taken from coil 2. So here at the secondary windings of coil 1 and coil 2, we will get the output voltage of LVDT. So as in transformer, we know when we give the AC signal to the primary generates the EMF. That EMF is induced into the secondary, and secondary gives us the output voltage. Similarly, here primary coil is going to take the AC signal in it, and it is going to generate the EMF, and then that EMF will be induced into the secondary coil. So this secondary coil will give us the output voltage. But now here, as two secondary coils are used, coil 1 and coil 2, so whatever output voltage we are going to get, that will be the difference between the EMF of coil 1 minus EMF of coil 2, that is E secondary 1 minus E secondary 2. So the output voltage will be the difference between the two coils, two secondary coils, that is E secondary 1 minus E secondary 2. So this is how the LVDT diagram is constructed. Now we will see working of this. So to understand the working of this, here is the phasor diagram of the LVDT diagram. So here in this phasor diagram, initially the core phasor diagram is drawn. So this reference line, that is a zero axis line, is nothing but our core position, which is now at the center. So to learn the working of this LVDT, we are going to divide this working principle into three cases, that is case 1, case 2 and case 3, and then we are going to see how the LVDT gives us the output. So basically this core is nothing but denoted by this zero axis. This zero axis is nothing but the core position. So now as we are saying, coil 1 and coil 2 are connected on either side of primary. So their connection is such that they are connected in series opposition. Coil 1 and coil 2 of secondary are connected in series opposition to each other. As they are connected in series opposition, whatever the EMF will be developed across coil 1 and coil 2, the both EMF will cancel out each other. Both the EMF that is developed across coil 1 and coil 2 will cancel out each other because they are connected in series opposition. Now if they are developing the EMFs which will cancel out each other, if we plot the phase diagram of coil 1 and coil 2, so we will get such type of phase diagram. So this downward arrow is nothing but phase of coil 2. This 0 to downward arrow is the phase diagram of coil 1, and 0 to upward arrow is the phase of coil 2. So coil 2 will give us the phase diagram in downward direction, and coil 2 will give us in the upward direction. Coil 1 in downward and coil 2 in the upward. So this is how the initial phase diagram is. Now we will see the working considering case 1. So in case 1, core is at the center. So what is the case 1? In case 1, our core of the LVDT is at the center. Now if the core is at the center of the LVDT or at the reference position, the center is called as reference position of LVDT core. So if it is at the center, the induced EMF in the secondaries will be equal. That is, in coil 1 and coil 2, the same amount of EMF will be induced because now the core will be at the center. If the coil 1 and coil 2 has the same amount of EMF, E secondary 1 minus E secondary 2 will have same value, and we will get the output voltage as 0 volt. So in case 1, here you can see in this diagram, core displacement, we have the core is at the center, that is 0 position, null position. So we get the output voltage at 0. So this is the 0 voltage output when the core is at the center position. Now considering case 2, that is core to the left hand position. In case 2, this core is moved by externally applied force to the left hand side. So to the left hand side we have coil 1. So when this core is moved to the left hand side by using the external force, there is a change of position of core from center to the left hand side. This is called as displacement. So core is displaced from center position to the left hand side position. Now when this occurs, the magnetic flux which is going to link between primary and secondary now will be more to the left hand coil than the right hand coil, that is coil 2. Now when the core is to the left hand position, what is going to happen? The EMF induced in the coil 1 is more or is large as compared to the coil 2. This is when this occurs, the difference in the voltage between E secondary 1 and E secondary 2 takes place, and we get the output voltage over here, because now the EMF induced in the coil 1 is more as compared to the coil 2 due to the core position to the left hand side. The same is shown in the diagram over here. Now the phase of coil 1, which was in the downward direction, it has now moved and it has now become in this direction. Now this is the phase of coil 1 when the core is moved to the left hand side, and this point A is nothing but the magnitude of coil 1. Point A indicates the magnitude of coil 1. So this is how the diagram, when core is moved to the left hand side, we get the magnitude A and we get the output voltage. This is case 2, and case 3, core to the right hand side. Now in case 3, we have to take the core and move it to the right hand side. When the core is moved to the right hand side, it will be more to the coil 2 side. When it is more to the coil 2 sides, the magnetic flux linking between primary and coil 2 will be more as compared to the coil 1. Therefore, the induced EMF in coil 2 will be more as compared to the coil 1 in case number 3, because now our core is to the right hand side. Now when this situation occurs, the phase of coil 2, which was in this direction initially at null position, it now comes to here in this direction, and then we get the magnitude B due to the coil 2. That is, now the output voltage is more in coil is induced, which we get due to coil 2 due to the right position of the core, and that is why we get the output voltage in case 3 due to the coil 2. So this is how you can understand when our core is moved by the external force to the left position or to the right position, that is displacement in the core is occurred. So when the displacement occurs, we get the output voltage proportional to the amount of core displaced. So this is how the one form of energy is converted into another. Here the displacement is converted into electrical voltage directly. So this is how linear variable differential transformer works. As it is based on the working of mutual inductance of transformer, its name is linear variable differential transformer. So this is one type of passive transducer. So here the core position is changed, and accordingly we get the output voltage. So this is how the LVDT transducer works. Next, these are the connection diagrams of primary and secondary. So these are primary windings to which AC supply is given, AC excitation, and then this is a core, this is an arm. With the help of arm we can move the core to the left side or to the right side, and these are the two secondary windings connected on either side of primary winding. So this is how the connection diagram of windings are. Next, advantages, disadvantages and uses of LVDT. So advantages is that it has linearity. So whatever input we give, that same amount of output we get. And that is the linear relationship between input and output. That is why it has good linearity. Then infinite resolution. Infinite resolution means that for the small amount of movement of core, we get the difference in the output voltage. That is, if we move the core with very small amount till we get the output voltage, that is infinite resolution. Then it has high output, it has high sensitivity, it has less friction. Friction means whatever is the outer body of LVDT, there occurs the friction between that outer body and the windings of the transformer. That is why that friction is also less over here in case of LVDT, and low power consumption. So these are all the advantages of LVDT. And disadvantages: LVDT is sensitive to stray magnetic fields and therefore shielding is necessary. So stray magnetic fields are the magnetic fields other than the primary and secondary winding. So sometimes there may be development of magnetic fields in the LVDT due to other factors. So this may affect the output of LVDT. That is why the LVDT should have the shielding. that is, the outer cover of LVDT should be strong to avoid the stray magnetic field. Second, temperature affects the performance of transducer. Temperature conditions also may affect the output of this type of transducer. And third, performance may be affected by vibrations. The mechanical vibrations can also affect the output of the LVDT. And lastly, the uses. As a primary transducer for conversion of displacement into an electrical output. So wherever in the applications, instrumentation applications, where we have to convert the displacement or the movement of any object into electrical voltage, at that places this type of transducer is very useful. So this is all regarding the LVDT type of transducer. Thank you.